Hi everyone, Teddy Baldassarre with TeddyBaldassarre.com. In this video, we're going to be looking at a watch from Ball Watch Company with the Engineer Moon Phase, a very interesting execution of the Moon Phase watch. So in this video, and if you're not familiar with this channel, this is where we cover watches available for purchase on our website, TeddyBaldassarre.com, as a full authorized dealer. So in this video, we'll go through an overview of this timepiece. Also, at any point throughout the video, if you have questions, check out the link in the description to purchase the watch on our website at TeddyBaldassarre.com. Also, feel free to book a time with one of our watch specialists as well before purchasing if you have any questions. But guys, let's jump into the video and take a closer look at this watch. Now, Ball Watch Company is a brand that has a lot of just connection to myself, and I have a lot of affinity for, having roots in Cleveland, Ohio, being founded in 1891 by Webb C. Ball. He was a watchmaker and watch store owner in Cleveland, Ohio, and was instrumental in the development and progression of railroad watches after a horrible tragedy in 1891 in Kipton, Ohio, where two trains collided. And this led to the progression in the rise in the expectation and requirement for what a railroad watch should be in terms of chronometric precision. Now, as Ball Watch has progressed over the years, it is no longer based in the United States, now producing all their watches in Switzerland, and they're producing some of the best value for money tool watches and probably one of the more underappreciated brands out there from a Swiss watchmaking perspective. Now today though, we're looking at a watch that truly is unique in a variety of ways. Moon phase complications are one of my favorite complications in terms of what to actually look at. In terms of function, that might be a different story. But this watch, in terms of its approach with this Engineer Moon Phase, is one of the more unique executions of a moon phase complication I have ever seen. It is definitely fun to look at. Now, taking a look at this Engineer 2 moon phase on the wrist, we have a stainless steel case that measures at 41 millimeters in diameter, 14 millimeters thick, and a lug-to-lug measurement of 47.5 millimeters. Wearing a little bit smaller than that 41 millimeter case would indicate, I'd say this one wears closer to that of a 40 millimeter case and really does emulate some of these other Engineer cases at 40 millimeters in terms of its size. Along the case, you'll find a combination of polished finishing to that bezel as well as along the side of the case, and you're going to get soft brush finishing on tops of the lugs. A screw-down crown is located at the 3 o'clock position and performs in the typical operations while also aiding in 100 meters of water resistance. Unscrewed to that first position, you can hand wind the watch. Second position, you can change the date, and at the farthest pulled out point, you then can also change the time as well as stop the second hand in the process, so hacking seconds here. Also at that second position, you can adjust that moon phase complication, but we'll talk a little bit more about it when we get into the dial details. Between the lugs, we have a well-constructed bracelet that is going to be executed in the typical Ball fashion. It has screwed-in links that are going to come together at a clasp that is of the butterfly variety. No push buttons here, but instead are locked into place with simple friction and can be pulled apart the same way. In terms of its execution, it is well-constructed. It feels sturdy and well-built. I will say, though, it is a bit thick on the wrist and doesn't have the level of articulation that I would found from other links in the category. Not a bad bracelet, but definitely with that 20 millimeters of just distance there between the lugs, I think you're going to have a variety of options that might be better suited in terms of different straps that will look great on this piece, but certainly worth purchasing on the bracelet as it does look the part and works with the overall design. In terms of wear, again, this one's going to wear closer to that of a 40 millimeter watch. It would work on a variety of wrists out there. I could see it working as small as 16 centimeters in terms of wrist size, if not a little bit smaller. Works well on my wrist, but also is going to be feasible for those with larger wrists out there, as this was kind of more of that everyday watch style with some dressy undertones, considering it does have a moon phase. Moving over to the dial, we have a slightly convex sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, providing a clear view of the dial below. Now the dial is dark blue with a soft radial sunburst effect, enhancing the richness of the color and providing depth in the process. The signature dial element, though, is going to be that moon phase aperture, which sits between the 12 o'clock index marker and the hands. As time goes on and the date changes, the aperture cover will slide across the moon, revealing a glittery yellow moon created out of Ball Watch's patented micro gas tubes, which allows it to glow in the dark. In addition to the moon phase window, you'll also have a step date window displaying the easy to read white date wheel below at 3 o'clock. Text and printing on the dial is limited with only the Ball logo and the references to its early history with a railroad industry printed below that. In the center of the dial, we have a set of bold sword style hands with high polished finishing, which contain tritium tubes within. Capping off the handset is a thin stick second hand with a red tip. also featuring one of the tritium tubes on that pointed section. Now, just to speak about tritium and these raised tubes that are going to be set on that dial, this is a common attribute of ball timepieces. And just to understand tritium as a material, now tritium, how it differs from that of superluminova, another illuminating material, is that it is a constant illuminating material. It does not need to be charged. It is not going to fade as drastically as that of superluminova. With that tritium gas being housed within those tubes, it will last up to 25 years typically on average, and will be a much more reliable source of light in those completely dark lit environments compared to that of superluminova. It will not shine as bright, but a very reliable material, and also a great point of differentiation for Ball compared to the rest of the market. And they've really owned this, and it keeps really true to their design DNA. But in general, when looking at this watch, that moon phase is spectacular to look at. When you look at it up close with the macro lens, you get an appreciation for the level of textured finish there. It simply is just a different execution of a moon phase complication. It's so Ball, and also has a level of just glimmer to it that really is unmatched in the price category. Now, flipping this watch over, we find a solid screw down case back, which aids in the 100 meters of water resistance and covers the caliber, the RR1801 inside. Now, the case back features an embossed train that has a frosted finish to it. This is a nice homage to the company's original involvement with the American railroad system. But beneath that case back relies this caliber, which again is essentially just going to be a ETA 2836-2 with some modifications. It's going to operate at that traditional ETA beat rate of 28,800 vibrations per hour or 4 hertz, having a 38-hour power reserve, and features hacking and hand winding functionality as well. Ball is also upgrading the movements with some additional resistance against shock and magnetism in these watches. And although you can't see the movement, it is going to have a utilitarian-like look to it, and it's going to be straightforward in its execution. In regards to just ETA-based calibers in general, the serviceability, the reliability, the time-tested nature in the marketplace is going to offer a ton of peace of mind, and is a simple set it and forget it type of experience at that. So now to unpack looking at this Ball moon phase and some points of consideration. Now, in terms of Ball, it's not going to be a brand that's for everybody. It has this tool watch approach, and the use of tritium is going to have a specific design element to it that is going to either be kind of a love it or hate it type of scenario. In terms of this particular execution with this engineer architecture and design format, one of the best selling and best known design formats for that of Ball watches, and that's going to come with a lot of the added benefits. The lume with the tritium is going to be very cool, the versatility, but this one, in terms of what it is going for, it has a few modifications which makes it truly unique and different than the typical Ball that you're going to find. The thickness, because of the moon phase complication and just being a bit thicker on the wrist, that is one point of consideration, but the star of the show here is the moon phase. Now, I'm a sucker for a moon phase in terms of its approach. A lot of them under, say, $3,000 are pretty straightforward. They don't have that much personality, and you're kind of limited in terms of what the execution is going to offer. In the case of this Ball, that is not the case at all. And just how they use this tritium and the shimmer to the texturized surface of that moon phase, there's really no execution else like this type of approach to the moon phase. It's one of those things when you see it light up for the first time, you're kind of taken back and just say, wow, it is a cool looking watch, no question about it. Is it necessarily the most functional watch in regards to the moon phase? No, but you can make the case that is the way for every single moon phase in the marketplace. So simply put, this is a moon phase complication for the tool watch lover and wanting something a bit different from this complication and offering a great everyday type of wearing experience. All right, guys, well, thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, as that is a great way to help out this channel. Also, if you are interested in this watch, definitely check out the link in the description to TeddyBaldassarre.com. We are a full authorized dealer of all the brands that we carry, quick and fast fulfillment, dedicated customer support. All of our products also come with a factory warranty, so if anything goes wrong, you are completely covered. Also, we offer price match, so if you see one of our watches for cheaper at another authorized dealer, fill out the contact form and we'll be in touch with you. And then again, 9 out of every $10 that we generate goes right back into the content that we're creating, helping to foster a new generation of watch enthusiasts. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.